And now for our next news special report.
Good evening, this is Gary Franchi with a special report that demands your immediate attention. Across the United States, a storm is brewing in the financial sector. A series of unprecedented disruptions in online banking services has sent shockwaves throughout the economy. This isn't just a minor hiccup, it's a red alert for every American with a bank account. The glitches have stopped paychecks, caused uncertainty, and sowed doubt in the bedrock of our republic's financial systems. And tonight, we rip the lid off this brewing crisis to reveal the truths that the big banks may not want you to know. And I promise you, the final thought we've prepared is something you cannot afford to miss. It's not just about news, it's about your money, your security, and the republic future. So stay with us. This is one report you need to hear from start to finish. Before we dive deeper, let's appreciate the support of those who make this report possible. Imagine our financial institutions as the body's vital organs and our sponsors as the essential nutrients that keep the system functioning. Without them, just like a body plagued by excess belly fat pressing on its organs, our operations might falter. Supporting our sponsors doesn't just help them, it invigorates us to continue delivering the hard-hitting stories that you rely on. Like a well-formulated supplement fighting against unhealthy fat, our sponsors empower us with the resources to tackle the big stories, including today's banking crisis. Their support is a high five to our commitment to truth. So visit trimwithgary.com and get 51% off their product that's helping Americans like you maintain financial and physical health. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Our banks, the lifelines of our economy, they are showing signs of severe distress. Hundreds of branches are closing doors. Thousands of workers are receiving pink slips, and customers are left stranded as their accounts disappear overnight without explanation. These are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of a larger systemic malfunction within our financial infrastructure. Take the recent paycheck debacle as a case in point. It's a glitch that's left hardworking Americans without their rightfully earned money. Watch.
From Minneapolis-based U.S. Bank to Wells Fargo to Bank of America, some of the nation's largest banks experienced disruptions Friday with direct deposit. The Federal Reserve says it's because of a processing error with the centralized system known as the Automated Clearinghouse.
It wasn't at one of the banks. It was actually in the plumbing that feeds those deposits into the banks.
Greg McBride is the chief financial analyst for Bankrate.com.
It's unsettling going into the weekend to not see the deposit there that you had expected to see when you got up this morning.
The clearinghouse says this impacted less than 1% of daily transactions, but that's still thousands of users. Across the country, people flooded social media with complaints, asking if others were having problems with direct deposit too. One person wrote, "Direct deposit being messed up when rent is due is crazy."
But your money is safe, and the banks are working to get that corrected with the provider.
For example, U.S. Bank said in a statement that customer accounts remain secure and balances will be updated when deposits are received.
The money will be there. What you want to do is make sure that any payments that were scheduled to come out today, that those creditors are notified, that you're not assessed any late fees, and that if there were any overdraft fees that you incurred, that the bank reverses those.
Now, this isn't a one-off error. It's a sign of deeper turmoil. When the Federal Reserve assures us there's no cybersecurity breach, yet problems persist, it's time we question the robustness of our banking safeguards. Our banking system's health is in jeopardy, and with it, the stability of our personal finances. And the chaos doesn't end there. Major banks, the titans of our financial realm, are stumbling. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, household names are now embroiled in a crisis of confidence as customers clamor for answers on social media. Their direct deposits, the very lifeblood of their financial existence, have been delayed or lost in the ether. The clearinghouse, a cornerstone of payment processing, is scrambling to reassure us that normalcy will return, but as the words quickly as possible, well, they're cold comfort to those wondering how to make their next mortgage payment or put food on the table. It's a stark reminder that our financial system, for all its might and digital sophistication, is as vulnerable as the weakest link in its chain. And when that link breaks, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a serious disruption that can have lasting effects on the economy and individual lives. DownDetector.com presented the evidence, and it was clear as day. The outages weren't just a fluke. They were widespread, affecting the big banking names from Chase to Citibank to Bank of America to Wells Fargo, the pattern was unmistakable and deeply concerning. Now, could these all be cyber attacks? The lack of clear communication from financial institutions leaves us in the dark. We hope for the best. Well, we should also prepare for the worst. And the current credit crunch is a term that's become all too familiar. It's not helping matters at all. The Federal Reserve's latest reports indicate that lending standards for business loans have tightened significantly. It's a move that signals caution, a tightening of the purse strings which could choke the life out of economic growth. Small business owners, the backbone of our economy, what do? Well, they are echoing this sentiment. The Goldman Sachs survey paints a grim picture. Nearly 80% are worried about accessing capital, and some fear the current credit environment could spell the end of their American dream. Banks, once the custodians of prosperity, have become fortresses of fear and uncertainty. As they hoard their reserves and pull back on lending, they're not just protecting their balance sheets, they're inadvertently stifling the entrepreneurial spirit that fuels our nation. Citigroup's impending layoffs are a harbinger of more trouble on the horizon. The term Project Bora Bora may sound exotic, but there's nothing inviting about the storm of job losses that it represents. It's a tempest that could leave many without a lifeline in an already turbulent sea. And the ripple effects, they are undeniable. Tighter credit, fewer branches, more layoffs. It's a cycle that is accelerating, and without intervention, it could spiral out of control. It's not just a banking crisis, it's a crisis of confidence. It threatens the very foundations of our republic's economy. Now, if you got value from this report, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Now, as we close tonight's report, consider this. The troubles facing our banks, well, they're more than just headlines. They are warning signs of a deeper melee that could erode the very fabric of our financial system. We must demand transparency, accountability, and resilience from these institutions. They hold not just our money, but our trust, and both must be safeguarded with the utmost care. Remember, in a republic such as ours, the power ultimately lies with the people. It's up to us to hold the custodians of our wealth to account, to ensure that the future of our economy is secure for all Americans. This story matters because it's about more than just numbers on a screen. It's about the security of our nation's future and the prosperity of every American citizen. As we witness these banking upheavals, let's not be passive observers. Instead, let's be active participants in safeguarding our republic's economy. Your financial well-being, the stability of our nation's commerce, and the legacy we leave for the next generation are all hanging in the balance. This is Gary Franchi signing off for this report, but the conversation must continue. So raise your voice, demand answers, and stay vigilant. Because when it comes to protecting your interests and our nation's economic future, silence is not an option. Remember, this is your republic, your economy, and your future. So let's keep it secure.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.